Thank you for joining us. This is Mitch with Your Home Financial, and I'm Brent with Russell Real Estate Services. This is just a quick video to go over what the difference is between pre-approval and pre-qualification. Now, Mitch, I think the big important question that everyone's asking is, how much can I afford?
Sure. So, and it's different for everybody because it kind of depends on your income situation and your debt situation. So, what really goes into it is your debt ratio. So what we have to do is figure out what debts you have. We look at all your payments on your credit report. So things like student loans, car payments, credit cards. We add all that up and then we divide it by your gross income. And it gives us what's called a debt ratio. So within that ratio, there's room to have a house payment. And at the end of the day, that's what we do is figure out our debt ratio, figure out how much of a house you can afford, and then we can work with the payment from there.
Okay, so it's best to come to Mitch, and I'd be happy to introduce you. And now, Mitch, a lot of people have heard that mean pre-qualified, but what is the difference between being pre-qualified with like a pre-approval letter and just being pre-qualified?
So great question, because a lot of lenders kind of use it interchangeably, and they are two different things. So a pre-qualification is when you've talked to a lender, we kind of went over your situation, you told me how much you make, how you earn your income. We probably ran the credit at that point and we're able to figure out your debt ratio. We understand your credit score, but at that point we haven't verified anything. So you can then make an offer on a house because you're pre-qualified.
Okay.
So the pre-approval is kind of taking it to the next level and just giving yourself a little more solid ground to stand on. So the pre-approval process means I've gathered up your income documents, I've gathered up your bank statements, anything I need to approve you, and kind of gone over everything to make sure that there's not going to be any bumps in the road when it comes to verifying your income and verifying your assets. So it's a little bit, it's definitely stronger than a pre-qualification.
Okay. So, and also the important thing to realize is what he's saying is he has to look at these documents. There's not a one size fits all. So it's always best to meet with someone like Mitch to get where your ballpark idea of home purchasing power is. Now, when they come to get a pre-qualification letter, pre-approval, is that going to cost them anything? And how long is it good for?
Great question. So absolutely not. There's no fee to do a pre-qualification or get pre-approved. If the lender says there is, probably want to find another lender. Then as far as how long it's good for, typically it's good for 120 days, and that's just because your credit report will eventually expire. So what I tell clients is about 90 days before we want to kind of recheck everything, because if you haven't found a house or got under contract within 90 days, you need at least 30 days usually to get to the closing table. So once you hit that 90-day mark, you want to kind of refresh, make sure that nothing's changed drastically with your credit score.
Now, you said some big things there, especially credit report. Now, a lot of people say if I get my pre-approval letter, is that going to hurt my credit score?
We have to do what's called a hard pull. So we do run a credit report with all three the major credit bureaus, and we get we get the scores, we get the full detail of everything on your credit. Usually that'll ding you 2 to 3 points. So it's nothing to worry about.
Okay.
It's much more important to know where you stand and understand your buying power before you really get into the thick of buying a home.
Right.
So when your scores are 600, 700, 800 points, 2 to 3 points really shouldn't make or break you.
And that's important because we need to know where our boundaries are before we find a home that we love and someone like Mitch says, I'm sorry, you're not approved for that. So always best to talk with Mitch, and I'd be happy to introduce you to him. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to give me or Mitch a call, and the information will be provided at the bottom of the screen. Thank you.
Thanks.